Welcome to Elite 6 Think Tank, an open discussion group with business owners who share their knowledge, experience and skills. Well, hello. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I've got some fantastic news. When we started recording the meetings this morning, we actually had a really good attendance at our meeting, and it was looking to be one of the best meetings we've ever ran. And I'm probably going to blame it on not sleeping very much over the last 5 days in preparation of my trip away and getting things done. However, I decided to trip over the cable and knock over all the recording gear, and it smashed to the ground, which meant that I basically lost the recording. And then I managed to get it all back and working again, and I thought, right, we'll start recording the meeting again. And then the next thing, what happened was, for some reason, the memory card decided to be full. So I got 8 minutes and 30 seconds worth of meeting. So what I'm going to do, we talked actually about ethics, business ethics. It was a great meeting. And so I'm going to play you 8 minutes and 30 seconds off the meeting. And then that will be like an enticer. And that will maybe encourage you to come along and check out our think tank meetings. Anyway, so without further ado, as they say. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We live in Christchurch, which is the city of disasters, and the recording device just bounced up and down on the floor 3 times. Right, and we did at that time have Sam, who had his hand up. He's going to start the ball rolling today, talking about his experiences with ethical business.
Well, going back to what you were talking about with this harmony thing, there's nothing wrong with it because I've disclosed everything. You know, if you hide something, that's not ethical.
I agree with that.
You know, so and hence why caveat emptor should be the standard. You know, but people are saying, well, that's not fair. You know, what's wrong with that?
No, I do.
Chris, and I did have another ball, but I think I threw that on the floor.
Is it the ethics of the business owner or the ethics of the customer? That's that question. Because depending on who your customers are, they might be quite happy buying Tomahawk missiles and weapons for mass destruction because that's the customer. That doesn't make you an unethical business if that's what your customer's ethically okay with.
I'm not sure we are talking about unethical businesses, or is it ethical being associated with Coca-Cola? Like one company, they've got Sparks in the park. Okay, and then they've got Coca-Cola in the park. But but Coca-Cola facilitates a fun night out in the park for children. So that side of it, but. Where did we get to?
Coca-Cola Park.
We'll come back to Cadbury's and their oils.
Whitaker.
See here.
We're talking about clients and harmony. Well, my partner's a debt collector for harmony. Well, he has harmony jobs. And most of them are people that are really struggling. But he does get the occasional few that take 50,000 and have no retention.
True.
So client ethics is really important. I've had a beautiful example of that on Tuesday where I had a gentleman come in for his first session, and halfway through the session as I asked him, I said, okay, how can I help you? What is it we are actually aiming for? And he said, I just wanted to check you out because you've got beautiful lips, beautiful eyes, and a cute heart. So client ethics is equally important, and I must get half a dozen of those a year, show off. So really, it's not nice. You spend the whole week wanting to wash it off. It's just really quite ugly. So client ethics is equally valid because that can make your working situation awful.
Okay, so customers flirting with you while you're working, is that ethical? I think it's quite ethical. I quite like it. Sorry.
Mine, it just depends on the customer.
Oh, really? So you can pick and choose when it suits.
Well, sometimes you
discrimination.
Sometimes you can turn a flirty nature into a really valid relationship to work with.
Yeah.
But then you get the clients like this guy on Tuesday, where actually he's got no intention of doing it. He's come in here because he wants to sit with a pretty girl for an hour.
Did you chat to him?
Yes, it's good.
That's the oldest profession in the world, though, isn't it?
It's true. It's not my profession.
Yeah. Well, have you made that clear?
Very.
If we had a dictionary person in the room here and we looked up the meaning of ethics, does anyone want to have a go of actually what that means? Is it 1 point or 4?
It's 3.
And a half.
And I've lost one of my balls, by the way.
If you go to university, right, they tell you that the golden rule of ethics is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which I think was written in a book somewhere about 2,000 years ago or something. But in terms of ethics itself, there are numerous ethical concepts which contradict each other. Which means it's actually very hard to say to any one person you are unethical, because under one of those concepts they're going to meet the criteria. And the three most obvious ones are that you do what a noble person would do in any particular situation. You do what is going to generate the greatest outcome for the most amount of people, or the individual act that you're talking about has to be a noble act. And it's actually hard to find anything that matches the whole three, because if I wanted to murder anybody in this room, I should have the right to exercise my free will. And if you stopped me, do you have a right to do that?
We're not going to stop you, Rob. Stop you whining.
Well, you're exercising your free will to stop you killing someone.
And I have the right to protect myself.
You do. You do. Exactly right. And we both do.
And I have the right to protect other people as well against your actions.
Is that ethics?
Yes.
I know some people that
However,
are
in protecting others, you're hurting me.
It's just something for fun.
So we've got to murdering people now.
Yes, but we're doing it with an ethical mindset, though.
It's right.
And I've got the dictionary. Checking me here.
Hold it. David Clarkson has a ball. Now he's changed his mind. And
Okay.
But you asked the question.
You asked the question. You wanted a dictionary definition.
I actually, to be honest, I wanted a definition of somebody's version in their mind first, but now we'll go for the proper version.
Okay. From dictionary.com, ethics. It's a noun, a system of moral principles. The rules of conduct recognising in respect to a particular class of human actions or a particular group, culture, etc. Moral principles as of an individual.
Gee, it didn't sound as exciting as my version in my head.
Just going back to what Rob said.
Sorry, you're going to be next.
Just going back to what Rob said. I believe the ultimate morality is that if you think something is right and you do it, then in fact you are acting in a moral sense. However, having said that, what you may do may not be regarded as moral or ethical amongst the members of your society. And the thing about it is that I think we've got to be very careful when we talk about ethics and the things that people do to make sure that it's not a case of the ends justify the means. Okay, and a lot of stuff that we think may be okay, may be ethical, in actual fact isn't, for a number of the people who are on the receiving end of the acts that you do.
So offending people, I'm hearing is the next topic. Ben?
So ethics came down to morals, and so it really begs the question: what is the standard for morality?
Morality.
Because if something is defined as ethical by acting in a moral way, what is the standard by which something is moral or immoral?
That's cool.
I'm not posing the answer. I'm posing the questions.
So the question is exactly?
what is moral?
What is
Because that
moral?
is, that,
Right, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was where the micro chip thingy that you put in the side of your device become full, and the end of the meeting ended the recording. So if we went through the notes of the meeting, people had lots of experiences. I'm probably not the best person to try reading the notes. So customer and clients ethics is important. All sorts of things. Ethics is a system of moral principles. After discussing this topic for an hour, it was probably one of the muddier topics that we have discussed. And I thought we would put the conversation about ethical business into the same category as religion and politics, because I've determined that ethical business is a real personal choice. It's what you really do that makes you sleep well at night. Anyway, so sorry to cut the meeting short. You should have come along if you wanted to hear more of that discussion. By all means, next week we'll be doing our very last think tank meeting, and we thought we'd discuss the topic at all Elite 6 meetings this week as one-man band. Now, a lot of people that come along to Elite 6 are small to medium-sized businesses, but a lot of them are so small it is like a one-man band. And we talked about how we try to do everything in business, our own marketing, our own administration. It's like trying to play all the instruments, and sometimes it can overwhelm us. And a bit of new thinking is really focusing on your strengths. And one of our members described it really well as, what is your drum? What are you beating out? What sort of message are you beating out? And is it possible to get others to help you play the instruments that you're not good at? So then other topics come up into mind. It's like saying, if you are a one-man band, what is your purpose? Are you trying to create some nice tune that people want to listen to? Are you playing the musical instruments hoping that you're going to raise enough funds because you've got your purse out in front hoping for money? And if you introduce other people into your business and they're not team players, the sound that your business will start making might sound absolutely shocking, and it can all go wrong. So for the last meeting of 2019, we thought that we would discuss one-man band topics. So if you want to join us, please subscribe, and also I promise I will get my shit in order next week, and I will record the meeting properly. It's probably my saddest part of the day when I found out I lost the meeting recording. So thank you for listening, and thank you for your understanding. You be true to your heart and true to the people you do business with. Have a good day.